Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the EIT Summit this year in 2021, and thanks for stopping by our stand. My name is Jordan Yanechko. I'm the coordinator for the Manufacturing Data Spaces project that we've been doing this year. And on behalf of myself and the partners that we've got, and the partners, by the way, are along with Atos, the company that I work for, Aerospace Valley, Comau, Procter & Gamble, LMS, and Festo Didactic. I wanted to give you a little bit of a run through about some of the things that we've done this year and what we've uncovered around the area of manufacturing data spaces. And again, the key to manufacturing data spaces, I think, is that everybody knows manufacturing companies are right now very dependent on ecosystems in order to provide value for what it is that they're doing. And by increasing the ability for controlled data exchange using a more standardized platform approach, there's a whole bunch of benefits that can be uncovered, regardless of whether it's efficiency between parts of a supply chain, better understanding how you can support the needs of your customers, or also make sure that you're always able to better plan what's going on. I think everybody knows right now here at the end of 2021, there are a lot of interesting things going on with the supply chain. Automotive industry is an example where they have a chip dependency, a silicon dependency that's difficult to actually get fixed right now. These are the sorts of things that could be avoided or at least mitigated if there was a better understanding about what's going on in the overall supply chain. And that understanding comes through a controlled view of data exchange. Again, trying to find that balance between how much information is intellectual property that should be retained within your own company, but also how much can then be used across the ecosystem for the benefit, either because you're able to share that information with your suppliers in order to either get a better deal or a better service, or with your customers for the exact opposite on the other side of the exchange value system. So these are some of the things that we've been focusing on. There's a lot of, and getting back to the idea of the solutions, there's a lot of technology discussion going on right now about how to solve some of these issues. It's in the area of Gaia-X, International Data Spaces Association, BDVA, FIWARE. There's a bunch of open source communities and activities, also in Brussels with DG Connect. Some very interesting ideas about how to solve these sorts of issues about control, in some cases data sovereignty, where data is being stored, how open it is, how you can make sure that it's no longer accessible if the business relationship then ends. But these solutions are actually quite complex, or at least right now there are so many things moving at the same time, both from a technology point of view and an agreements point of view, that it's hard for companies right now to actually make decisions. It's a little confusing about what I should be doing today and how I should be actually trying to implement some of these things. And in fact, one of the activities that we defined in the beginning was an open call to help companies actually set up small, we called them sort of tactical approaches, but there was only limited uptake on that. So one of the things that we've done over the course of the year is to refocus a little bit, maybe a little bit away from technology and enabling with a sandbox the ability for people to use some of these technologies, but also increase the amount of attention we paid to the business discussion about return on investment, adoption blockers. And we did this by creating a questionnaire. And some of our participants went through and interviewed various industry stakeholders to ask them, what is your opinion about what's necessary for data spaces to be successful? What are some of the adoption blockers that you see, and how, as a large corporation or company or an SME or an industry group, how would you see solving some of the issues that you're being faced with right now to take advantage of some of these new data economy digitalization activities? So the results of what we've done are threefold. Number one, we've created a report based on those questionnaires in order to give more of a view and an in-depth overview for industry players about what sort of considerations either they're having in their complex organization or how they should approach reaching an agreement with some of their business partners. It's also a demo application dealing with decarbonization. And again, decarbonization we chose because the data that you need for decarbonization is usually something that isn't around intellectual property. It is something that's more freely exchanged, and especially because of the views of reducing an organization's CO2 footprint and what they call Scope 3 indirect emissions, it's going to be necessary to start exchanging that sort of data. So a perfect example of something where an application would drive the requirements for the sandbox. And again, obviously the sandbox itself is something that has a platform approach, understanding how you can combine these different open source technologies so that there's a basic technical capability to understand how all of these three things fit together: the platform, an application for data exchange, and the business understanding about what takes place. So we'd love to have you stop by the booth when we've got people here where you can ask questions. Also, if you're interested in the final report, or if you're interested in giving us a sort of feedback in the industry consultation activity that we've got, by all means contact us. We'd love to hear from you. This is a topic that all of the people involved in this project feel very importantly about. And so we'd love to hear you and have a discussion with you. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the EIT Summit. Goodbye.